going to get cold here real fast. It already is.
It's basically you're doing this. You're trying to adjust those.
Hey everybody, I'm just setting up still, but I thought I'd pipe in the sound that comes over the live mics at the Taskforce so you guys can hear it while I'm setting up before he comes out. I'm hoping that we get a, ladies and gentlemen, the president now stepping up to the plate. Number 45, President Trump. Like kind of intro. They also have two screens up on the stage, but they have a lovely dressing around them. They're wearing skirts. They look Amish. I don't know what the deal is. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I may switch. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Because honest to God.
Just wandering around. What's he waiting for? The light to change?
So they're seeing Trump walking around in the White House behind everybody. That's what they're talking about. So that's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my
the
God.
President of the United States.
Oh,
accompanied
horrifying.
by the Vice President of the United States.
And oh wait, and everybody has to stand up. They
The
do this
President
every day.
Of the United States.
Hold on, watch
accompanied
this.
by the Vice President of the United States.
Here he comes. And they make everybody stand up. Or everybody does, which I don't get. Like the press corps stands up. I guess it's like court.
Okay, thank you very much. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. Please sit down. No, I couldn't possibly go on.
Big day today at the White House.
Oh yeah? It's been kind of
All
boring so
American
far.
Society is engaged and mobilized in the war against the invisible enemy. While we must remain vigilant, it is clear that our aggressive strategy is working and very strongly working.
It's very strongly working. It's strongly. It's not just normal working. Everything is strongly working. Hold on, I'm going to have to shut the door for this one. This is going to be loud. I can just tell. And I know I'm going to get a cat in here, and it's just how it works. So I'm blocking the door because here we go. This is, hi guys, how are you? His volume's low? Okay, good to know. I will, because it's super loud in my ears right now, but I will fix that as best I can. There is a like a personal madness to this nonsense. Oh, that's why it's quiet. I see. So let me fix that real quick. Safari's there, and it's turned up. Okay, turned up in here. We're good. It's turned up. I will do what I can to bring up the essentials. Here we go.
Might add, new cases are declining throughout the New York metropolitan area.
Yeah. No thanks to you.
Cases in the Detroit and Denver metro areas are flat. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and St. Louis are showing great signs of progress, and new cases in Houston and New Orleans are declining. The battle continues, but the data suggests that nationwide we have passed the peak on new cases.
Oh, great. So that means he's going to reopen stuff. That was the peak. Plenty of deaths. There's more deaths. It went down one day. Let's open everything back up. Everything max death.
Hopefully that will continue, and we will continue to make great progress.
And by the way, I'm drinking kombucha today, not coffee. I'm hoping it will keep me from having to, like, if this thing gets long, having to use the restroom. Although I did prepare an intermission picture for you guys to talk amongst yourself. Well, anyways.
These encouraging developments have put us in a very strong position to finalize guidelines for states on reopening the country, which we'll be announcing. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. We'll be having a news conference tomorrow sometime during the afternoon. We're going to be announcing guidelines.
That sounds like organizational skill. Just slamming organizational skill right now. You know what I mean? Sometime tomorrow in the afternoon, maybe or so, we'll be talking about maybe to open up the country since we're on the downslope of death.
And
yeah, no, don't think for a second that the actual facts that he's mentioning are real.
We'll be talking about various states, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is true. His hair is straight up white today. Did he have, I mean, is it a, no, his face is the normal orange. That's well spotted. Yeah, that is straight white today. That is not, it doesn't even have the yellow hue. It's like he had, it's like the morning after A Christmas Carol. Last night I was visited by the ghosts of pandemics past, present, and future, and decided that if Tiny Tim gets it, really is not a burden on society. I don't know if it's the lighting, because his face is just as orange, and his tie looks normal. The flags look normal. Usually his hair is the color of the fringe.
Double time to see such death.
Oh, such a horrible time to see such death. You know, great bedside manner there. You know, I'll miss these fireside moments.
And destruction.
Oh, good. That's it. Destruction. Not only did this disease kill people, but it broke their toys as well.
Especially when you come out of what was the greatest economy in the...
Oh, my God. Glory days. We started already.
History of the world. The great...
In the history of the world.
There's never been an economy like what...
There's never been a deficit like we had the one that I had, or a tax cut pouring money, and it's never been stock buybacks like that.
Had produced, but we'll produce it again. And I think we'll produce it again very fast.
Very swiftly and very bigly.
Medical and healthcare advances we've made are critical to our continued progress. We've rapidly developed the most expansive and accurate testing system anywhere in the world, and have completed more than 3.3 million tests. To date, we have authorized 48
wait, that you'll have to test again tomorrow.
Separate coronavirus tests, and the FDA is working with 300 companies and labs to widen our capacity still further.
Why? I mean, everybody who wants a test can get a test. They could weeks ago. So I'm not quite sure why we're even bothering. Do you guys know? I mean, honestly, thank you for kicking off the festivities, John Mahoney. Appreciate it. Hold on. I'm adding the Patreon banners because somebody reminded me again. I don't know why sometimes it just disappears from this. So I'm not quite sure where it goes, but whatever. I'm just fixing it right now. Fix it live. And it's going to have a cool transition. That's better. Okay. So.
Today, Abbott Labs announced that it has
oh, God. Abbott Labs again.
Developed an antibody test that will determine if someone has been previously infected with the coronavirus and potentially developed immunity. It's a great test.
Is it? Tell us about this great test. What makes it great? That they've developed it, or that antibody tests are great, or that they're part of the 9 other companies, but you went alphabetically, so you keep quoting Abbott.
The company says these tests could be available.
They say these tests is gonna be just enough. We can open up our And Ohio and Michigan, they say these tests gonna be good, y'all.
Screen up to 20 million people in a matter of weeks.
20 million people in a matter of weeks. Up to 20 million people in a matter of weeks. See, 350 million people. Okay, so in a matter of weeks. Does anybody know what week volume a matter of? Is it like a murder of crows? A matter of weeks. This is a very short period of time. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Amy K.
My administration is also distributing vast amounts of medical supplies to
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine. Because some people are just they're on their heels, like Bill O'Reilly said, and we just need to give them that little push into death and destruction.
states across the country through Project Airbridge, which has been an amazing
Project Fighting Eagle.
success. We have
It's plane flights of stuff. What is that? Why does he want so much Project Airbridge? It's like the bridge that they walked across in the civil rights era, but better because me.
completed 44
Thank you, Amaret.
flights, and these are flights of very, very large airplanes.
Okay, good. So that's what makes them better than other planes.
Massive
Big plane. Have you seen them? They look like a regular plane, but that's let itself go.
cargo planes.
Oh, they're cargo planes. So they're carrying cargo, is what you're saying. Are they big cargo planes for carrying big cargo?
44 flights of critical supplies as of today,
Thank you, Joe Carter.
and an additional 56 flights scheduled in the near future. We have some very brilliant people working on this. It's
Oh yeah? Who?
logistically incredible what they've done.
I can't wait. We're gonna get the list of who's on the. Remember, we were promised yesterday the list of the people who's on the Open America Council.
And we've also been working on this with the military.
Oh really? Where'd you meet them? At a party?
And these people have been, the genius of all of them together has been incredible to watch.
The genius of all of them together are almost equal to me.
In total, through all channels, the federal government has developed and delivered 39.4 million N95 masks.
Oh God, we're getting another list of the number of masks. CYA episode Wednesday.
431 million gloves, 57 million surgical masks, and 10.2 million gowns.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
We ordered 500 million masks, and they'll be
Yeah, I know. California by themselves ordered 200 million.
coming shortly.
Oh yeah? Shortly? Define shortly.
And we've distributed 100 million masks.
Uh-huh.
Following our use
Half of what California arranged to get for themselves weekly?
of the Defense Production Act, GM announced that its first ventilator has come off the assembly line in Kokomo, Indiana. Great place.
Yeah, you've been there? Is it good?
They did it in 11 days from start to finish, a remarkable testament to the ingenuity of the American worker. GM will ship over 600 ventilators this month alone, with thousands more to come, and we have
600 ventilators. We're good, guys. 600. This is it.
the companies doing something similar. And I think they said that there's a brief clip that we have of General Motors sent to us by General Motors, and
Oh, look, we're going to play. Now we're doing ads. It's not enough that they get a name drop from the Rose Garden every day. We're going to run ads from these companies.
I think they might be wanting to play that.
Really? You think so? Really? Why would they drag out these huge screens and set them up with weird little dresses around the base?
For your benefit, please.
For your benefit. Oh, you know it's serious. They've got now this piano music. This is going to be very heartwarming. Oh, I'm glad they tiled the floor where they're going to build them. This is, by the way, this is GM in this negotiation you saw with the White House and all this back and forth about using the Defense Production Act and all that shit you were hearing, everybody else was getting a free factory out of it. As long as they initially produced stuff for the pandemic, you could then keep the factory tax-free. It's just it's the same kind. It's like a federal version of the stadium tax break idea, but cash paid for. And so GM was in argument like, no, if we're going to build this shit for you guys, we get that same deal you're giving to these other companies. That's what the back and forth was. The DPA was never used. And look, we have watched time-lapse photography of days already. We've already seen the sun go down once. And not a ventilator built. They're painting the walls. Oh, the floors are nice. That's some nice flooring. I'm glad and they did that under the tables. Who moves the tables in? I mean, it's a rush job. What can you? I know how to put together those kind of shells. I've done that before. I could have helped. This is days of them just walking around on the nice new floor. This is sweet. Take a stroll. There you go. Now they're finally building them. We're 4 days into the factory floor, and they converted what, an office space to do this? Really nice ad. That was so good. I don't know who they got to play on that, but I'm sure it was royalty free. So don't give me a copyright strike on something that was played. Okay.
I know you got a little bit nervous when you saw there was a clip about ready to be played, but that was sent to us by General Motors. And
why would they get nervous? Because your AV team is the JV team.
We thought it would be a good one to play. It's amazing.
Really? Did you watch it first before you played it? Holy smokes. Please don't start putting chat like on the screen like I do during your thing. Oh, by the way, you can't because, little known fact, on all the versions of this that are displayed like on YouTube, all the different channels, Time, Newsweek, the White House's own thing, chat is disabled.
It's, what they've done in a very, very short period of time. They're now making thousands of ventilators. And
hundreds.
They're coming out of the factory very rapidly at a clip that nobody can even believe. But we have.
No, I can believe it. I can believe it. I just saw time-lapse photography of weeks. Yeah.
There's also doing it. And these are very high-grade ventilators. So
not the cheap shit you get from, eat that, Wisconsin.
Helping a lot of people, and at this moment, nobody needs them.
Let's play a commercial for a product that, that nobody wants because nobody needs. Are these President Trump Ziffersuf seeds?
We have to remember, during the surge, nobody's needed them for weeks now.
No, not the case. Oh, thanks for becoming a Patreon. That's awesome, Josephine.
But we'll have them for stockpiles, and very importantly, we're going to have them.
We're going to sell them to other countries. You better do us a good trade deal, or we're going to let your citizens suffocate in their own juices.
Other countries, because nobody's able to do things like we can do, and we're going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries that can do things like we can do, and we can partner with them and make it even better. That's why we have things like the WHO.
Able to help other countries that are having tremendous problems, to put it mildly.
Is that putting it mildly?
My administration is using every available authority to accelerate the development, study, and delivery of therapies. So important, therapies.
So good. I like that word, therapies. Put therapies. I need therapy, so why shouldn't everybody else have it?
Treatments, and ultimately what we want to come up with is a safe vaccine. But frankly, the therapies to me are the most important because it takes care of people right now.
Yeah. We know. Are you going to mention the therapy you suggested that you haven't talked about in a few days? Because all the countries that were running tests on it stopped because it was killing people and blinding them.
The vaccines have
Hydroxychloroquine. Say it. Say it. Say hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, and zinc. Thank you, Hal Vickery.
to be tested, so it takes a longer period of time. But we have some great potential therapies already, and we'll see how they're working.
Oh yeah, you've got one in testing. You were saying it was working great one day in. Now that we're 2 weeks in, tell me.
We'll be able to report on that, I think, over the next week or two. Tremendous
Oh yeah. Oh, in the next week or two, all of a sudden the testing period starts to matter.
progress has been made. At least 35 clinical trials
Thank you, Timothy.
of promising therapies are now underway. So 35 different genius companies.
Genius companies, not these dipshit companies that have been, real, them smart folks.
If you look at AIDS, if you look at Ebola, if you look at so many things, they've come up with the answers to so many things you wouldn't have believed it. And
I do believe it. That's what their job is. Why is it unbelievable? I can't believe people do medicine. It's incredible. Have you seen this? I mean, they do it without me.
we're very honored to be working with them.
You should be.
They include antivirals and also, and they have something which is incredible, keeps the virus from multiplying, a mechanism that keeps the virus from multiplying, immune
What mechanism is that? Antivirals?
therapies that prevent the immune system from
Thank you, Rebecca.
overreaching to the virus.
Yeah, cytokine storms. That's what's killing a ton of people. They're using in a rheumatoid arthritis medicine they started using in China. I tweeted about it 2 days ago. That has an effect that slows that cytokine storm, which is what's killing a bunch of people who start to spike really badly. And curiously enough, it's not hydroxychloroquine.
And convalescent plasma treatments that use antibodies from the blood of recovered patients. So we have a lot of patients who recover, and they're so happy to have recovered that
What? Oh, clearly there are people who've recovered who are mad about it. Can we interview one of them? Damn it. I thought this was my way out.
first thing they do is say,
Nothing can take me.
we want to give our blood. And they do that. It's incredible. We have
They take the blood.
thousands of people that are doing that. They recover. They feel they have an obligation because they've gotten such great care. And a lot of them didn't think they were going to make it. As the entire U.S.
Why? Because they couldn't breathe?
government works to combat the global pandemic, it is absolutely essential that the key positions at relevant federal
Oh, we're back to using our finger to read again.
agencies are fully staffed, and we're not allowing that to take place through our Congress. They're just not giving it to us. We have many positions that are unstaffed because we can't get the approvals. The Democrats are holding us up. We cannot get approval.
What, of who?
We've gotten judges because we go through the process. I guess we're up to 448 federal judges. And that we've gotten because we focus on it. We take the maximum time because no matter who the judge is, they take vast numbers of days and hours to approve and leaves no time left for others. Very unfair system. If a judge is going to be approved in 1 hour in one session, it doesn't matter. They'll take the maximum number of
Oh my God. Wambulance.
hours and days. You're talking about days.
Yeah, to look at judges and their voting records, and you put people up who the National Bar Association says this person should not be practicing law and should probably be in jail themselves, and you're like, why can't I get this guy rushed through?
Get one judge approved. And we're close to 250 judges, but because of the way they're doing
You have more judges going through than anybody in history, but you're complaining about the pace of getting judges through.
it, there's no time for anybody else. And many of these people have been
What people? Who?
waiting for 2.5 years. We have a couple that have been waiting for longer than that.
Yeah, why? Because you won't present their vetting papers yourself?
There are currently 129 nominees stuck in the Senate because of partisan obstruction.
Oh, really? Who's in charge of the Senate right now? Can somebody look that up?
Many are nominated for vacancies that must be filled. to assist with the coronavirus crisis and the resulting economic challenges. And I've read over the couple of years, well, I didn't fill positions. I don't fill positions. In some cases, we don't need the position, and I'm all
Right, like the pandemic response team, like that kind of shit. We can just let that slide
for that. But in many cases, you do, but we can't get them approved by the Democrats. They
because I keep putting in people who have domestic violence issues.
won't release them.
They won't let them go through just because I want someone in charge of missing and exploited children that has a history of missing and exploiting children.
Positions include the Director of National Intelligence, 2 members of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, the Assistant Secretary of Treasury for Financial Markets of the United States,
Oh, as opposed to?
and the Undersecretary of Agriculture responsible for administering food security programs. And Sonny Perdue, who's going to be speaking today, is saying, please, can I have this particular person approved as soon as possible? He's been telling me that for a long time. And
Because you didn't consider it a priority.
Democrats won't allow it to happen.
No, because why? Who are you trying? Because you're putting someone who was a caddy in charge of it?
Again, every single judge, every nominee we have goes through maximum, or at least they go through a long process. So it takes days and days, and there's no time left. And it's just a concerted effort to make life difficult. An example.
Yeah, because you hand them legal Gordian knots of people that you want approved instead of people who are just qualified for the job.
Is Michael Pack. He's my nominee for the CEO of the Broadcasting Board of Governors, and he's been stuck in committee for 2 years, preventing us from managing.
Why didn't he name the dude from agriculture?
The Voice of America, very important. And if you
Really, Voice of America is the key here. That's what's missing. They've been holding up his Voice of America nominee.
heard what
I thought he liked acting people.
coming out of the Voice of America, it's disgusting.
Huh?
The things they say are disgusting toward our country.
The Voice of America is disgusting toward our country? What?
Michael Pack would get in, he'd do a great job, but he's been waiting now for 2 years. Can't get him approved. The senators left Washington.
What are they saying that's disgusting? The Voice of America is disgusting toward our country.
Until at least May 4th, the
What are they saying? Facts and shit?
Constitution provides a mechanism for the president to fill positions in such circumstances. The recess appointment, it's
Oh, he's going to recess appoint these folks because the president has absolute power.
called. The Senate's practice of gaveling into so-called pro forma sessions where no one is even there has prevented me from using the constitutional authority that we're given under the recess provisions.
Oh, man. Does anybody want to go look up all the times he shit on Obama for trying recess appointments and how many times the Republicans were like, this is a violation of the
The
Constitution?
Senate should either fulfill its duty and vote on my nominees, or it should formally adjourn so that I can make recess appointments.
No. Sorry, dude.
We have a tremendous number of people that have to come into government.
What, the second undersecretary for agriculture and who, by the way, has like 4 people who do that acting position, and the Voice of America broadcasting guy? Really? He needs to make recess appointments of these?
Now more so than ever before because of the virus and the problem.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need to fix Voice of America and the terrible shit they're saying about our country.
We have to do it.
We have to do it. We have to, stop having a Democrat show up and hold a pro forma session so that you can just slam through whoever the hell you want in recess appointments. And then by the time we're fighting it all out, the election will already happen. And then you'll put somebody in charge of like scuttling the election.
We have to do whatever we have to do.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, you got that? Everybody write that down.
They've made it very, very difficult to run government. I don't think any administration has done anywhere near what we've done in 3.5 years.
No previous administration had a pandemic response team that they scrapped a year and a half before an actual pandemic that shut down the economy. That's true. That's true. I mean, as big impacts go in 3.5 years, that's pretty large.
But every block, every week, they put up roadblocks.
Oh.
Whether it's Russia,
Oh, God.
or whether it's impeachment hoax, or whatever it may be, it's always roadblocks and a waste of time.
You got impeached, dude. And if you'd have been removed from office like everybody thought you should be genuinely in the Republican Party, Pence would have run things and he would have at least handled this with some sense of sanity. I don't trust him to make good decisions, but I trust him to listen to somebody else more than you.
If the House will not agree to that adjournment, I will exercise my constitutional authority to adjourn both chambers of Congress.
Oh, look out now. He's going to enact an adjournment of Congress. Holy shit. Hashtag King Trump.
The current practice of leaving town while conducting phony pro forma sessions is a dereliction of duty that the American people...
No, that they are carrying out their duty. That's the point. They see that as a duty to keep you from recess appointing a bunch of junk maniacs.
Cannot afford during this crisis. It is a scam what they do.
Is it? Is it really? Is it really?
It's a scam, and everybody knows it. And it's
No. It's a tactic. Let's talk about anonymous holds, shall we? By the way, those of you that were asking, I'm drinking kombucha today. It's a Pink Lady Apple kombucha, mushroom tea. Not that kind of mushroom. All right.
been that way for a long time.
Boo, fuckity who.
And perhaps it's never done before. It's never been done before.
Great. So the complete and overwhelming seizure of governmental control.
Nobody's even sure if it has, but we're going to do it. We need the
Nobody's even sure as it has. Look it up.
people here.
I don't even know. Have there been presidents before me? I don't think so.
We need people for this crisis, and we don't want to play any more political games. I've been waiting for 2.5 years, 3 years for some of
To fill the voice of America position.
these people.
Hi, Amy Wright.
And they're great people. They left law firms. They left jobs. They gave up everything to do it, and they've been waiting for 3 years,
Really? They sound very productive, intelligent people.
2.5 years, 2 years, 1 year.
Sometimes half a year, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. Thank you, Lisa Mia Moore.
You get approved. It's ridiculous. And
This is ridiculous. I will agree with you on that. This is completely ridiculous. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
everyone knows they're going to be approved. But there's only so many hours in the day when you go
Oh,
through judges
Lord.
and you go through lengthy hearings on judges that they know should be approved immediately, and they could do it
No, they don't. That's why we go through this.
in one
You don't even vet your people.
session, and they could do it in 1 hour. And instead, it takes them many days.
Because awkwardly, they pushed through a few people and then found out later that they couldn't own a gun because they beat their wife.
In order to advance the health and security of our nation and all nations, as we announced yesterday, the U.S. government has put a hold on funding to the WHO, World Health Organization, pending a
Oh, okay. Is that related to the WTO like yesterday? Thank you, Christina F.
review of the organization's cover-up and mismanagement of the coronavirus outbreak over the
Or the coronavirus. Okay.
objections of the
We're going to rotate the vowels every day.
WHO. We took decisive action and early life-saving action to suspend travel
Thank you, Jim.
from China. They didn't want to do it. They were angry that we did it. It was early on. They were angry that we did it.
No. If you guys look at my Twitter feed, by the way, I posted an article from January that the president's hold on travel leaving China came after the major airlines, Delta, United, and American, ceased flights from China. And still this administration allowed 40,000 travelers in a day.
Come a long time to realize what was going, but I have a feeling they knew exactly what was going on. Tragically, other nations put their trust in the WHO, and they didn't
You did. For what?
do any.
Okay. Hold on. I can't. It's too much. There must be. Hold on. I'm opening up a new window. This will probably crap out my whole thing, but damn it, I need to do this because it's going to drive me nuts. I don't know if I dare play the video of it, but I sure as heck can play the audio of it. Let's see. Go to my notifications and the things that I played, and then we go back to where is it? This is regarding how we complained about judge. It had nothing to do with Corona. There is a. I'm going to bring this up in a second. Hold on. So I posted this article this was from the New York Times in January, and the quote is, "The temporary restrictions that Trump put on for travel from China followed announcements by American Airlines, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines that would suspend air service between the United States and China for several months." And then he was on Trish Negan or whatever, the woman who got fired from Fox News for basically putting them in legal jeopardy by doing this. But there was suggesting people, use Pop Rocks as a suppository or something along those lines. I'll have to find the clip again. But she basically said, they were asking him, like, how's it going? How's this whole thing going? And Trump goes, oh, well, we got the World Health Organization. We got great people in the World Health Organization, and they're taking care of this. And no problem. I'll get on with this because we'll be here forever.
Form of ban. And you see what happened to Italy. You see what happened to Spain. You see what happened to France.
Yeah, and that's why most of the cases from the testing of the genome, the cases that came to New York City came from Europe.
WHO's guidance had failed to control their borders at a very crucial phase, quickly unleashing the contagion around the world.
Oh, we're going to blame the WHO again today. It's 2 days in a row. If you repeat the lie loud enough and often enough, he's really hoping this covers.
Mistake, or perhaps they knew.
Perhaps they knew. So it's not that they were incompetent. It's that the World Health Organization is plotting to murder Americans.
I'm sure they didn't know the gravity of it, but perhaps they knew.
What do you mean, perhaps they knew? I'm sure they didn't. What?
Because if they knew the gravity, that would be an
criminal?
Even worse offense. To ease the economic pain of millions of American families, we've now processed $300 billion in loans to more than 1 million small businesses through the Paycheck Protection Program. This act.
Yeah. You mean the Democrats and Republicans worked on bipartisan, passed 96 to nothing in the Senate, which you're going to completely, overrule. I mean, I don't even know what the legal precedent that he would say. Oh, by the way, here's the clip from him on Fox.
About coronavirus, some concerns that their economy is really going to tank because of this, and that could have a spillover effect here. What's your sense of their transparency right now, whether they're being more accommodating in terms of telling us what's going on and how it affects our economy?
Well, I think China is very, professionally run in the sense that they have everything under control. I really believe they are going to have it under control fairly soon. In April, supposedly, it dies with the hotter weather, and that's a beautiful date to look forward to. But China, I can tell you, is working very hard. We're working with them. We just sent some of our best people over the World Health Organization, and a lot of them are composed of our people. They're fantastic, and they're now in China, and we're helping them out. We're in very good shape. We have 11 cases, and most of them are getting better very rapidly. I think they'll all be better. But our relationship relationship with China, you know, we made a great deal, a great trade deal, and our relationship on top of that has probably been
Thank you, Diana.
with China. They respect us now. What they were getting away with was murder. You know that from being
Oh, speaking of murder, now he's accusing the WHO of murder.
a phenomenon.
That's amazing. Hold on. Let's get this back to this page. Hold on.
Has saved millions of American jobs. It's been an incredible success. And they want to replenish it now, but again, the Democrats don't want to do that. This is money.
Yeah, they do. They just want to make sure that the money can't be seized by the banks and yeah.
It goes to the workers of our country.
Thank you, guys.
Phase one was $350 billion, and now phase two
is $250 billion. Meanwhile, there was how many trillions of dollars went out the door with a possible $6.4 trillion from the Treasury to back that up? Where did that money go?
do $250 billion. This goes to workers, and it goes to small businesses, so we can save all the small businesses around our nation. Mike McFarland from Nebraska recently said this historic relief has been a godsend for his small factory and the 136 Americans who work there. Save those jobs. Another small business owner, Tim Miller from Oklahoma.
Yeah, the entire government put this together. This isn't your win. This isn't something you successfully did.
Called the program a total lifesaver.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi could be reading this very same statement.
For his auto repair shops for employees. Stories like these underscore why Congress must replenish the Paycheck Protection Program immediately. The Republicans want to do it. They want to do it immediately. They want to do it now. And the Democrats are stopping it.
Why? Gee, tell them why. Tell them why. Tell them what it is. Thank you, Francis. Tell them why. Go ahead.
A short time ago, CDC issued public health guidelines for critical industries. In a few moments, Agricultural Secretary Sonny Perdue will elaborate on how these guidelines apply to our nation's dedicated workers in the food processing profession, because it
is a profession. It's a job. I don't know if most people think this. I really look at, like, I think they're cooks and chefs or whatever, but those are the people you can fire instantly. But some people think they can work like this forever.
Profession. It's incredible what they do.
No, it's very credible. It's a job, like any other.
Food processing, and they're keeping our grocery.
Explain to us what food processing is. I'm honest to God. Does he think these are people who are actually, like, mincing stuff with a food processor that goes to restaurants?
Stores full. The shelves are not bare like the shelves that I inherited when we took.
Oh my God. You whiny bitch.
Over the stockpile, the medical stockpile, where the shelves were bare. The cupboard was bare, I say.
Yeah, and it's still not true. No matter how many times you say it, it's goofy. If your cupboards are stocked and are stored and you don't check the date on the cans to make sure that the stuff in there that goes bad can be replaced, then you have a cupboard full of rotten food that you didn't rotate through, and therefore it's not bare. All right.
Tomorrow I'll also be leading a call with elected officials who will consult.
Ooh, a call, another call, everyone. Will it be by telegraph? Will it be on the phone? Will it be a 10? Will this call be a 10?
With my administration as we work to restore our economy to full speed. And we really think with all of the stimulus and all of the pent-up demand, we're going to have an economy that really comes back quickly. And
yeah. Except for all those industries where people can't be close to each other. You mean all those and all the ancillary businesses that relate to those and public transportation.
To see it more than match what we had before.
Camelot, God be praised.
Or what we had before was a miracle, and we think this is going to be even more than a miracle.
It's not a miracle when your entire economy was on the same arc it was when you came into office. And oh my gosh, Templeton's a rat. Thank you so much. Holy smokes. Bless you. That's amazing.
To do it because we have the greatest people in the world. We'll also be speaking to America's governors.
Everybody, Templeton's a rat. Look at this. That's lovely. Right out of the gate. Spending your stimulus on you. Well, thank you. I'm trying to keep you guys stimulated. This is my stimulating of you guys.
Tomorrow, and then we'll be announcing exactly what's happening. You already know.
And how many days have we heard that they're going to tell us something tomorrow that they haven't actually told us yet? Honest to God, this is seriously. We're like day 4 of them going to announce in a very short period of time who's on the opening, the council. By the way, whoever's on this council, if they open too early, people will die. And the people that were on that panel who said, yeah, I think it's time to do it, are going to wear that around their neck forever.
We'll be opening up states, some states much sooner than others. And we think some of the states can actually open up before the deadline of
No, they can't.
May 1st.
No, they can't.
And I think that will be a very exciting time indeed. Governors are looking for.
Why would it be exciting? Let's say you had 2 states. They're like, dude, there's like 9 people here and none of them are sick. We're going to open the whole state. It's Wyoming. Nobody gives a shit. And you open that state. Why would that state, in isolate from the other states, be excited to open when no one else from the surrounding states can come in to participate in it? Everybody there gets to have a party while people are, fellow Americans are dying? What?
They're chomping at the bit to get going. Again, not all states are the same. They're very different. Some are having very little problem. Some have
By the way, it's champing at the bit.
done such a good job that they have very little problem, and they're ready to go. So Vice President Pence and I will be speaking with the governors tomorrow.
Thank you, Georgina. There are meat processing plants that are closed because of COVID. Exactly. Notice how he dusted past that. What they do is great. Purdue's going to come up and talk about this, and he's going to stay out there. He's not leaving the Rose Garden. If you'll notice, there are a bunch of flags behind him. They're working way better on set dressing.
We'll be
That was the problem yesterday. It wasn't that, he didn't have enough flags behind him, and that's why the reporters got all uppity.
discussing procedures. Today I spoke with the leaders of many of our nation's most renowned companies and organizations on how to achieve the full resurgence of the American economy. My discussions included top leaders in health and healthcare, transportation,
Or healthcare.
technology,
Do we have top leaders in health?
financial services, food,
I'm going to guess healthcare had a hyphen and the care was on another thing, or he just bailed out in the middle of a word.
beverages, hospitality.
Beverages. I talked to some people. I had a discussion with the most important beverage members, and by that I mean I pushed the button on my desk that makes them bring me a Diet Coke.
Real estate, retail, agriculture,
Yeah, he's going to leave humping the flags on his way out.
construction, energy, labor, manufacturing, and sports industries. We want to get
Our sports back together, and we're not going to sit separate by a seat. They're going to tear out every other seat, and we're going to be going to games again, and we have to because we need to and because we have to.
country open again. We want to have our sports leagues open. You want to watch sports. It's important. We miss sports. We miss everything. We want to get
We miss everything. We just miss everything. Like outside.
back. These experts and innovators provided extremely productive feedback on how to safely reboot our economy. They gave us a lot of great ideas. We spoke to a lot of very, very smart people. The highest of the high tech. The level of IQ on some of those calls was about the highest you've ever seen on a phone call. That I can tell you.
Yeah, most of the time they don't do phone calls. Those people like to text. What? Lucky I was there to translate for everyone, the highest of the high tech. Luckily, I have the metrics up here so that Pence was like, I'm basically Amish. How does this work? And I was like, they're on the call. Trust me, I get it better than anyone.
But we have a lot of great thought went into those calls, and a lot of questions came out, and also statements, very strong statements.
Oh, good. Good questions and statements. So a conversation. It's like an alien describing language. Translation. They use words to and attitudes around those words and fluctuations to communicate their feelings and not high-pitched tones projected psychically.
As to what they recommend.
What is he talking about? This is the first time he's had a conversation. Like, this is what he hears, by the way. This is, Sharon Gless used to have a joke about, actors that she used to do when she would go through the script. She'd go, bullshit, bullshit, my line, bullshit, bullshit, my line, bullshit, bullshit, my line. And that's basically, he sits there in these meetings just going, that was a question. That was a statement. That was a question. That was a statement. My turn. I think rocket ship.
I think it was a great day. We did a lot
of meetings. You had a lot of work yesterday. Operation Look Busy is under full effect.
Calling with
They are, by the way, on his president's daily schedule. I'm going to tweet this later. I took a picture of it. So almost every day, it's just no public events since we started the isolation. No public events, and then they list when this thing's going to be, because this is the highlight of his day. But they've started listing all the phone calls on there so that they look, like he's trying to do something. He's talking to international trade leaders. That shit.
a lot of very prominent people, but more importantly, very smart people and people that love our country.
Yeah? How'd you check? Did they all have to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Did you? Can you do the Pledge of Allegiance? Can you do it from memory? Without somebody else doing it first? Oh boy.
They talked about the vital importance of our
Turn around, face the flag, give me the Pledge of Allegiance right now.
wide array of relief measures to
I'm going to call it. He goes up in the middle.
address the present crisis, and they provided valuable insights on how to move forward, including on the role of protective gear, where we have tremendous amounts of protective gear
Oh, don't reread the numbers again.
coming in.
35 bazillion PPE masks, 45 M16 facial gear coverages, 2 busted ventilators, and a partridge.
Robust testing and the future use of therapies and treatments.
Like I mentioned before, did I say therapies and treatments?
They also underscored the crucial importance of strong supply chains and communications infrastructure.
Which I thought was kind of weird. Why would you need that? I mean, isn't that the states' jobs to coordinate supplies between states? Why do I need to do blah, 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 blah?
We're talking about infrastructure for the middle of our country. We're talking
Really? What are the coasts are on their own? The middle of our country.
about broadband and things that they frankly don't have and haven't had for a long time because a lot of politicians forgot about them.
Oh, did they forget about them? Or did Republicans stop all broadband efforts throughout the country? Oh, let's get started on a conversation about national broadband infrastructure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about like 3 different companies who can do 5G in the United States and why it's being outsourced to Chinese companies. Why don't you do that? That seems right in your wheelhouse, dude, and you're not gonna.
Can't forget about them.
They're not forgotten about. They've been stepped on by the middle American states.
They're really the heart and soul. Can't forget about them.
Are they the heart and soul? Really? They're the heart and soul. Get a little bit of heart and soul. What's California? The eyes and nose. What's New York's the liver. We're going with that.
And we're talking about the telemedical. It's a new thing, and it's
No. It's been around for a while. My insurance covers it. It's what you should be doing with infectious disease anyways. Your pandemic response team would have been, oh, right.
It's incredible what they've been able to do. This is an industry that's just growing, but it's grown by leaps and bounds over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, why would that be? Gee, because if an infected person comes in, it costs PPE or it can infect a member of the our medical support. What? Yeah, it's grown. So has the stay-at-home industry. So has Netflix. Thank you so much, Jenny, the cat whisperer. Do you really whisper to cats? Can you really talk cats into doing stuff? Because I have a couple that we need Murphy to be quiet between like I'm going to go 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. That would be a nice window. And also, is there a way to get them to stop stepping on my balls while I'm trying to sleep? I have to sleep on my stomach or my side, or I get woken up 3 times a night. Here comes the ball stepper, worded up. He's a feline gangster. Drunk.
People are learning so much. Without the ability to see a doctor, they're learning so much. And
What do you mean? They're seeing a doctor. They're just doing it via... Oh, God damn it. Explain what telemedicine is. Really? Do you think they're... Oh, my God. Does he think it's like I was about to say, like a WebMD app on Apple TV, but even that's too complicated. Does he think it's just watching Dr. Oz
a lot of good things
on Fox? Dr. Oz, what the shit are you doing on Fox, dummy? Stop telling people misinformation.
are happening. That's something that's really
P.S. You look like shit. I'm not following your medical advice.
going forward, I think, going to be very important for our country.
That goes double for Dr. Drew.
As we've seen throughout our proud history, America is never greater than when our people are working in unison toward a common goal. That's what's happening right now. We'll go ahead, we'll forge.
We're never better than what? Than World War II or in the middle of a pandemic when we're all working together for a common goal. You know what the common goal of the American people should be? To be decent Americans while pursuing their own personal dreams and aspirations and playing to their own natural skill sets and developing themselves better. That's the real job and goal of America. It isn't lockstep behavior because we're fighting a common enemy. It's great we can do that, but that's not the purpose of this country. This is a bunch of like communist propaganda poster bullshit.
An even brighter future today than we had and will be, along with other nations. Hopefully, we're working with other nations.
We have a brighter future now. We're lucky to be in a pandemic. We never would have been this good if it hadn't been for a pandemic, you guys.
We'll be the comeback kids. All of
The comeback kids. What? What? The comeback kids. See, it's better than Clinton. He was the comeback kid. Somebody's been telling him about Clinton's like poll numbers when he was running for office and how far he was behind. And he's been looking at how far behind he is in his poll numbers because they've taken a shit. So now he's thinking this language about himself. The comeback kids.
us, all of us. It's incredible what's going on. I'm very proud of the people of this country.
Yeah, we're proud of ourselves too. We don't need your help.
Proud of the people I spoke to today. These are
Really? Which people are those? The geniuses of the
truly
smart,
great, brilliant people.
the great, brilliant people. Did I mention the great and brilliant wordy words?
And we've gained tremendous insight.
Can't stop lying. Be careful in the garage. I'm just saying.
So tomorrow's going to be a very big day. We're going to be speaking with the governors. We'll have some information on
Will we, in a very short period of order of time, in the possibility of this?
some openings. And again, we'll have some openings that will exceed our expectations, and they'll be
Huh?
safe. They'll be strong, but we want to get our country back. We want to get our country back, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it soon. With that, I'd like to ask Dr. Birx to come up and say a few words, and then Secretary Sonny Perdue, and then Vice President Pence. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You gonna dangle? Yeah, he's dangling.
Thank you,
Fauci's not there today
Mr. President, and thank you for
because they're talking about opening. Oh, that's a good look on his face right there. Looking good. It looks like Jackie Gleason and Smokey and the Bandit right there. Boy, there's no way that you came from my loins.
summarizing the states and what we're seeing. So over the last 5 to 6 days, we've seen declines in cases across the country, and this has been
No, we haven't. We've seen states that got on this early having declining cases. Across the country, we're seeing a bunch of areas that are rising, but the overall number in New York was so high that it brings down the national number. So if you pay attention to the national number, you're going to ignore all the hot spots in the middle where an entire town will get wiped out. By the way, she's wearing her Michael Jackson jacket today with a complimentary scarf today. This is a nice, yeah.
And reassuring for us.
She's wearing epaulets. She's got military epaulets. Maybe she has to wear this jacket or Trump won't listen to her. But you know what epaulets are for? You know why they're on there? They're designed so that you can drag someone off the field of battle. They're handles.
At the same time.
So in case he attacks her or whatever and gnaws her legs off and she can't walk away, someone can drag her by her shoulders.
And we know that mortality and the fatalities that we're facing across the United States
Thanks, Bizine.
continue. We know the number of people who are still in the hospitals, in the ICUs, and we want to continue to recognize the healthcare workers who are on the front lines and really recognize how low the United States case fatality rates are compared to other countries. And this is really due not only to our technology, but how that technology is utilized to save lives. At the same
Yeah, we're learning from the mistakes of other countries where people were dying and they were doing interventions in the beginning, anything they could because they didn't understand it. We're just cribbing their notes. As we should, by the way. That's what the WHO is for.
time, I'm inspired by the American people.
I'm inspired by the fact that we looked at what was working in Italy and what wasn't working, and we stopped doing what wasn't working and started doing what was working. Yay! You know, people doing what they're supposed to.
Who continue social distancing. These cases.
Oh, I'm buffering and frozen. Hold on, I'll check that. Industries. Why is that? Curious. Gotta restart my page. Does that help? What happened? Oh, offline and then back online. Oh, now it's back. Okay. Now it seems to be all right. That was weird.
Continue to decline because of the
Better
strong
now?
work of the American people. Also wanted to let you know that we do have 9 states that have less than a.
Hold on. This is getting, I'll fix this. Hold on one second. That's not getting it from there. So let's get it from over here. I don't have any notifications, but it tells me notifications. All right, let's see if we can do the replay buffer on this. Are we frozen? Just me? Both are frozen? Okay. Hopefully. Wait. What the heck? And we're back? We good? Oh, okay. I can't see it on my screen, but if you guys say we're back, then awesome. Yes? Okay, good. All right. Let me restart that other page. That was spooky. It's the Russians. They've come for me. I don't understand this. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. Back? Oh, it's good? Okay, cool. I need to find some other way to monitor it because my monitor on Restream crapped out, and it seems to be the one that was crazy. It's blurry, but you're on screen. Okay. Oh, there we go. I see myself. Okay, good. All right, so there's just a delay on my side. Gotcha. All right. Phew! I thought we were going to miss all these pearls of wisdom.
1,000 cases and less than 30 new cases per day. So we're looking at states and
we're not testing. We don't know how many cases there are per day. Testing numbers have gone down.
metro areas as individual areas. We talked before how each of these curves are different. Each of the cases experiences are different. We have some states like California and Washington State, Oregon, that never really had a peak because of so much work that their population
So much work that we've done in not testing people.
did to decrease and keep the new cases down. So each of these individual states and individual metros are being studied very specifically. I do want to highlight and
Yeah, they just sent a bunch of people down to these meat packing plants because like they're being overwhelmed. But tell me again how the metro areas in the blue states are indicative of how things
we
work.
are remaining
Trump stands like that because he wears lifts, and the backs of his heels are too big, and he doesn't wear full lifts because they would be visible. So he wears camera lifts. It's the same ones. If you ever watch Tootsie, there's the scene where Dustin Hoffman, he goes, "We're looking for somebody a little shorter." He goes, "I don't have to be this tall. Look, I'm wearing lifts." And he pulls them out of his shoe. The little heel ones or whatever that he was wearing, that's the same ones that Trump wears.
and we've
When I did Brighton Beach Memoir, I played Stanley, the older brother, and the guy who played Eugene was a full 2 inches taller than me. So I had to wear these Herman Munster boots on stage, basically, to look like the older brother.
having discussions with Rhode Island. Rhode Island and Providence are in a unique situation.
But literally, if I'd have wore the heel kind, I'd have fallen over. But I had to wear like these, rock star boots to try and walk across stage. Luckily, there was a lip on the stage, and you couldn't see it. When I went upstairs in the second story of the set, if you looked, you could see it, but whatever. But I placed some things around the edges of the room so that in the places I stood the most, you wouldn't really be focused because they would look ridiculous.
First,
Yeah, I wore Kiss boots, right?
they had increasing cases from the New York City area, and now they have new increasing cases from the Boston area. They're caught between two incredible hot spots in the country.
Yeah, why are you viewing this as a plus? You're saying New York and California and Washington State are coming down because they did the most drastic steps and ignored you entirely and went ahead with the steps. They bent their curve early. Everybody else who ignored you is going to be late to this fight. They're going to get wiped out by this. And you're going to pretend, though, because the national numbers are coming down, because the big cities that got hit first are going to start going down, that there will be a second number that overtakes those. Look who I'm talking to, Mrs.
They're
SATs.
doing an extraordinary job. They're caring for the individuals in the front lines, but Providence continues to have new cases. We do continue to work with specific states that have specific outbreaks related to individual occurrences.
Nobody is getting any sleep.
I will just remind the American people again, this is a highly contagious virus. Social gatherings coming together, is there always a chance that an asymptomatic person can spread the virus unknowingly? No one is intending to spread the virus. We know if you are sick, you will stay home. But to all of you that are out there that would like to join together and just have that dinner party for 20, don't do it yet.
That's how we're all thinking about this. You know that dinner party for 20 that you guys are all planning? Yeah, guys, not now, okay?
Continue to follow the president.
Think about what you're projecting onto the American people for what normalcy is. That dinner party for 20.
Guidelines. We really appreciate.
If you're going to dress up in your fake military outfits and practice your Michael Jackson moves for a dinner party of 20 or fewer.
Appreciate the work of the American people. We see as a
I have one button for every person I've infected on my jacket.
country,
Thank you,
we're
Natalie.
improving. We see as metro areas, we're improving. We see as communities, as counties, and as states, we're improving. But that also still requires everyone to continue to social distance. And in the end, we do have states that have very few cases.
And what do they look like? Do they look like Washington State a month and a half ago?
Very few new cases. And so these are the ones the president is
Welcome back from the garage, can't stop lying.
referring to that have been silent, relatively silent through.
Yeah, Rob Glenn's the crazy gun people in Michigan. Hey guys, it's time our militia had a nice 20-person dinner party.
Out this epidemic and pandemic that many of us have faced. And so these are the groups we're working with very specifically. And each of these governors and each of these mayors will have.
Get some sleep, Burks. Trump is.
to make
Thank you, Jill.
decisions after generalized guidelines are put out so that they can do what's best for their communities. They are at the front line. And I wanted to conclude by really thanking my PEPFAR teams around the world who have been working tirelessly throughout the world to ensure that Africa and Asia doesn't experience this level of infections that we have seen here. They've turned over their
What are you going to do? Try to build up testing over there and make sure they have plenty of ventilators and stuff? Africa, run for your life.
capacities from their embassies. Our U.S. Hires throughout the world, our ambassadors are still on the front line with our local staff, working with ministries of health to confront this virus around the globe. And I assure you that they are continuing to invest in the health structures, the laboratory, and the frontline care to ensure that all of the work that we have done against TB, HIV, and malaria continues, but that we use our capacity, our laboratories, our clinics, our hospitals that have been built by the American people and the generosity of the American people.
He's just totally, look at the clouds. That one kind of looks like I'd give her an 8.
To really combat this COVID-19 around the globe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.
Around the globes. That's what I was just thinking. The globes.
Sonny, please.
Great. Sonny Perdue has the sniffles.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to be here with you today and to
announce that I have yet again, for the 3rd year in a row, won the Ed Asner Lookalike Contest.
I want you to,
And I hope you all will check out my live monologues from Up. They will be the hit of the season at the Kennedy Center,
know it's an honor
thanks to your leadership.
to represent you in leading the Department of Agriculture and represent the constituency who are crucial in maintaining our nation's food security, enabling us to keep food on the table of our American families, not only just food, but wholesome and safe food as well. I'd like to start my remarks today by echoing what my colleagues at the CDC have been saying regarding the health and safety of our essential
Okay, he sounds a little out of breath.
employees across the United States. CDC's provided strategies there that aimed at helping our most critical workers, both in healthcare and in food processing, to quickly and safely return to work after potential exposure to COVID-19, provided those workers are symptom-free. And this guidance will help these critical industries in the food sector protect the health and safety of essential workers while keeping critical functions working throughout the COVID-19 response. As we know, any employee who develops symptoms while on the job should go home immediately, and the interim guidance is in line with CDC's recommendations for healthcare workers caring for those sick with COVID-19.
And what about asymptomatic carriers and pre-symptomatic carriers? You know, the guys who spread it all around the factory for days before they know?
So we appreciate the
We would need testing for that.
dedication and commitment of all the brave men and women working to keep their communities fed. And
By the way, if you work at food processing plants, if you work in the dairy industry or you're in farming, agriculture, any of those things, thank you very much. Stay safe. And whatever guidance you're getting from the CDC to as far as behavior and work safety, err above that and be safe.
we'll continue to work
Thank you, Zach.
with the CDC to keep those individuals as safe as possible during these challenging times. In that vein, there's been a lot happening this week as COVID-19 is impacting food processing facilities, as you know.
Yes, we know. You know, that kind of is going to be a little scary going forward if everybody's sort of fine from staying home, but the meat and the vegetables and the food on the shelves starts going bare because the factories are getting wiped out. It's a thought.
Americans who may be worried about access to good food because of this, I want to assure you the American food supply is strong, resilient, and safe. And in fact, our food supply chain has shown tremendous agility in shifting production and logistics so suddenly from restaurant and institutional settings to retail settings. To all the employers out
Yeah, instead of for all these restaurants that are shutting down, all the food that was going to them is now going to the shelves. It's amazing how much shit is on the shelf.
there in this sector, it's critical that you follow CDC guidelines and guidance and best practices to keep all of your employees and people safe and healthy. To employees and local public health officials advising them, the CDC has issued guidelines on how to mitigate a situation if you have a positive case in one of your facilities. We need our local health authorities and our state health authorities to do everything they can to balance the demand of keeping our facilities operational and our critical industries going, while at the same time keeping the health and safety of employees as a top priority, as well as our communities. So I want to also take this time to thank all of our critical essential food supply chain workers.
Thanks, Lewis.
The entire country is counting on these patriotic individuals by doing the work in our food supply chain. These dedicated workers include obviously.
Are those cows on his tie or the state of Iowa? Thanks, Brian.
Farmers and producers, but also
Very tiny type on the Patreon things when they come up on the logo, so I'm gonna have to adjust that so I can read it on the screen more. But I think it said Brian. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
processors, truckers, and grocery store workers, as you know. America's depending
Thanks, Debbie.
on what you have, the food we need to feed our families, and you're the ones who are making that happen. Thank you. As an entire nation, we're truly thankful for the work you're doing, and we recognize that you are the true patriotic heroes during this national emergency, along with our healthcare workers. So before I sign off here, Mr. President, I want to remind you and all of us of one more thing. In the United States, we have plenty of food for all of our citizens. I want to be clear. The bare store shelves that you may see in some cities in the country are a demand issue, not a supply issue. The way food is prepared and packaged to be sold in a restaurant or a school is significantly different than the way it's packaged for you to buy in the grocery store. Our supply chain is sophisticated, efficient, integrated, and synchronized.
Yeah, sophisticated. Did you hear he said sophisticated?
And it's
Oh, Twitch isn't working? That's weird.
taken us a few
Should be.
days to relocate the misalignment between institutional settings and grocery settings. But that does not mean that we don't have enough food in this country to feed the American people. You might think of it as an interstate when it's flowing along well, and you have a crash at one place, it backs up, and that's what's happened in the food supply chain, but we're working through that. Yet through all this, our food supply chain has proven to be very resilient, just like the American people. To the extent
You mean we make way more food than we consume and it's given us a buffer?
we have challenges, we have and continue to need to work through it all together. And we can and we will get through this with a whole of American approach, Mr. President.
Why is Trump shimmying and smiling at people? It's weird.
The critical partnership between state and local
He's doing the Kate McKinnon. Thank you, Dancing Dog 60.
officials, management of companies, and the employees. And we will meet any challenges we face by working together. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And before the Vice President comes up, I just wanted to say, speaking of Sonny, China has paid us billions of dollars.
Oh, and tariffs. Oh my God, 250 billion, 25% and 15% on 250 billion of stuff that they're forced to
How
buy.
many billions of dollars in tariffs, which
Hurt our farmers very much, and our farmers were targeted. And I stopped the.
we've distributed some to the farmers because they were
Thank you, Lowrider.
targeted. We have many billions of dollars being held by Sonny, and I've told him
Thank you, Dancing Dog.
to distribute much of that money to the farmers. Our farmers were targeted, and now
Oh my God, we're hearing this one again.
they're benefiting by the amount that they were targeted. And we are
They were benefiting by the amount that they were targeted.
very
What?
honored to do that. And Sonny, you're going to start that process very soon. You'll let the farmers know. Nobody can take advantage of our farmers. So we have a lot of money that we've taken in from China. We're going to be distributing that money from Sonny to the farmers. And there's tremendous money over and above that. That money was paid directly into the Treasury of the United States. This has
And where did that go?
never happened to China before. They never gave us 10 cents.
They never gave us 10. Oh, we're getting slippage in the dentures today. 10 cents. Is he going to say God bless?
Now they're paying us billions of dollars, and we appreciate it. So thank you very much, Sonny. Great job. Breeze. Mike, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, your guidance, your leadership, your stout form, your beautiful way of standing. Ever forward is what I call it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Notice how he touches the microphone to bring it forward by grabbing the stem as opposed to where Trump touches the mic. Probably has nothing to do with COVID-19, just because he doesn't know where the president's hands have been.
The White House Coronavirus Task Force met today. It's reported to us that we've conducted and completed 3,324,000 tests across the nation.
Yeah, tests you would need to do again tomorrow.
More than 619,000 Americans have tested positive. But as you reflected yesterday when we welcomed coronavirus survivors here to the White House from across the country, some more than 45,000 Americans have fully recovered.
It's kind of a small number.
Sadly, we mourn the loss of more than 27,000 of our countrymen. Our hearts are with their families and with the families of all of those that continue to struggle with the serious consequences of this illness. But as Dr. Birx just reflected, despite the heartbreaking losses, we're getting there, America. Because of the effort.
Seriously, like the bar is so low that Pence just seems like a normal, I mean, he seems like a governor, but more presidential than whatever that we just watched was. Yeah, give us a thumbs up, guys. Smash the like. Support the stream in any way that you can. And thank you guys for the super chats and the Patreons today. Patreon.com/AlSparks is how you support the show. There are YouTube memberships. I haven't turned that on yet. I don't know quite how it works. I'm working on it. I know that some people like to do that, so I will allow that. I'll set that up. And by the way, the numbers of dead that they're suggesting right here does not count people who've died in elder care facilities, for example. Like, it's garbage. So, but anyways, there's also merch below and all that kind of fun stuff there. I did the commercial. I'm very proud of myself.
Of people all across this country to put into practice the president's coronavirus guidelines because of their adherence to the direction of state and local authorities. As Dr. Birx just reflected, we see great signs of progress from the West Coast to the East Coast.
No, on the West Coast, on the East Coast. In the middle, we're screwed.
President Trump has directed our team to develop new guidelines that will be presented tomorrow to our
sometime in the afternoon, maybe in a shorter period of time.
nation's governors and
big round of applause, by the way, for Can't Stop Lying as well.
And released to the American people thereafter. The American people will be encouraged to know that as we stand here today, 24% of the counties of this country have no reported coronavirus cases.
Oh, interesting word choice there. Reported. How many states are how many counties in the country? And you beat me to it there. I am not my thoughts. How many counties have zero access to testing? What's the number?
In fact, half of the states in America have less than 2,500 cases per.
Less than 2,500 cases. Does anybody remember what it was like when New York had less than 2,500 cases?
State. This is a great tribute to the efforts by the people of those communities.
No, it isn't. It's because of a lack of testing and the fact that they're more rural than urban, and they will get hit later.
But as the president suggested, when we unveil the guidelines that the team has been working to present tomorrow to our nation's governors, we're going to reflect on the fact that, as the president said, there will be areas of the country that will require continued mitigation and strong efforts, and there will be other areas of the country that will be given guidance for greater flexibility. The president has so directed our team.
if we think we can lose people in that state and it's not going to be a big deal to his election chances, then we'll open those states up. And basically, we're looking at the campaign strategy for the fall. And if it means fewer voters because people have either died, lost a relative, or are depressed from the effects of seeing other friends die, that they won't vote, we'll give them flexibility.
When we think of more than 619,000 Americans having tested positive, more than 45,000 having recovered, we wanted to announce today that the FDA recently announced efforts to facilitate the development and access to convalescent plasma. Mr. President, you've spoken about this.
Oh, yeah, he's spoken about this. Otherwise, we wouldn't know anything about convalescent plasma, even though it's been around for decades.
People who have recovered from the coronavirus have antibodies in your bloodstream.
Yeah, we've been hearing this for weeks. We know this.
That can attack the
But please, pretend you invented it. That'll be fun
virus.
to watch.
The Mayo Clinic today is working with the Red Cross to make sure that coronavirus patients have access to the convalescent plasma treatments, and over 1,000 institutions across America have already joined this program. And we want to urge
They already do this kind of stuff.
every American who has recovered from the
Oh, buffering again? What the shizzle? What's happening? Spinness. One second.